This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon and welcome aboard to today's discussion about Game 3, about Game 2, about Game 1. So far this series, the Oilers down 2-1 to the LA Kings. We've got a whole bunch of stuff to discuss, but importantly, you see the thumbnail, you see the title. How will Connor McDavid respond to yet another collapse in this series, the second one already, and of course you can factor in the blown lead in Game 2, and a night in which Connor McDavid comes out and finally roars into this series with two of, if not the most beautiful goals we have seen all series long from any player in this series. Friends, before that, if you're new to the channel, I want you to consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. I will tell you why. We've been doing this Oilers thing for 5 years, but I want you in that Game 4 stream tomorrow night at 7 p.m., okay? I want you here lighting it up with me, enjoying every last second of hockey we can possibly enjoy in this series and beyond. That's my pitch to you. I hope it works. You decide. Let's get talking hockey. So, Connor McDavid, honestly, a minute and 50 on the post-game on Edmonton Oilers YouTube channel there. You can go watch it for yourself following last night's game. He's upset about the missed call, and he's sitting there just kind of like, man, I really don't know what we can do different because we are right there. And this is where I'm saying, how will Connor McDavid respond? Because the question is right now for the Oilers, is it's just a matter of that next goal, right? You think about it, okay, well, don't take a penalty, don't do this, don't do that. But you know what? Stop thinking about what the Oilers shouldn't do and start thinking about what the Oilers should do. And you can flip-flop it, right? The Oilers should stop taking penalties. The Oilers should start scoring goals, that kind of thing. But the Oilers just really need to clamp down and get that killer instinct back. And that's kind of what they had in Game 6 and Game 7 last year against the Kings, right? Is you just saw from puck drop in both those games, there was almost absolutely no way the Oilers were going to lose, well, Game 6 and then lose Game 7 and the series. So the Oilers end up in a similar situation this year, right? I think a lot of fans in the Oilers fandom, and this is just tendency based on living the experience as an Oilers fan over the course of the past 33 years, is that if the Oilers go down 3-1, everybody's going to pretty much abandon ship for Game 5. That just is my observation after doing this after 5 years and being a fan since 05-06. But you look at this here, you win in Game 4, and we will be back to feeding the Kings fans what they don't want to hear. We'll be right back in the series, and we're here to take it, and we're here to take the cup. And that's kind of the question, right? How will Connor McDavid respond? Because Game 1, Game 2, after that, we're all asking, is he hurt? Is he sick? Is he okay? What's going on? Why are the Kings clamping him down so good? And man, you can't keep Connor McDavid down this long, can you? And then he busts through. 2 power play goals, 2 huge goals to give us the lead midway through that hockey game against the LA Kings yesterday night. And guess what? The Oilers were looking good up until Draisaitl takes that unsportsmanlike penalty on the play that Connor McDavid scores the goal, and you sink yourself into a 2-2 game just seconds later. Problem is, right, you can't afford that, but you also know what the situation is, friends. As Oilers fans, we always believe the referees are against us. So if you think that the referees are against us, maybe we should start looking at how do you respond to that, right? How do you better handle the situation? And how I've explained it to a lot of people here over the past 48, 60 hours, whatever you want to say, since Game 2, is just more or less stop giving the referees an option to get a call against you, right? That Draisaitl play, you don't do that, you don't take a penalty, right? You eliminate that. And I'm not saying that every penalty the Oilers have taken is a full-blown, oh my God, how did they almost get away with murder if they didn't get that called against them? No, that's not where I'm going with that. I'm just saying for the Oilers is clean up the little ticky-tacky stuff they're trying to do a little extra in this series. The refs will claw back, things will even up, and you look at Connor McDavid scoring 2 power play goals, and suddenly you probably win a hockey game or 2 the rest of the way here just based on that. And of course, 2-3 wins, and we're talking about a really different series here by the end of Game 6. And I think too, right, I was going for a 5-game series. Everybody else is going for a 6-7 game series, and based on the YouTube numbers, I should be as well. And now I have to either Game 6 or Game 7 against the LA Kings. When it comes down to it, though, friends, Connor McDavid, right? He finally gets engaged in this series, gets those 2 big goals, and then gets absolutely deflated by giving up that goal of seconds later on the power play for the Kings, and then also losing on the power play, penalty kill for the Oilers, in overtime. So now the question is, right? Connor McDavid has come onto the scene in the playoffs, right? He's here, he's scored 2 big goals, he's got an assist, he's a point per game player in these playoffs, and he's like top 5 all time through the first 40 career playoff games played. And secondary to that, the Oilers are down 2-1 in the series. How will Connor McDavid respond? Because we've seen over playoffs year after year, he kind of has this killer instinct that comes out when he's mad, when he's, you know what I want to say. And I said it in 2020, but that was a different version of me, so I'll hold off on using that word. It starts with P, ends with D, and there's a couple of letters in between. There's a double S somewhere in there. You get where I'm going. But for the Oilers, it's necessary, right? I think no matter how much we want to say we're a deeper team, no matter how much we want to say we're a better team, no matter how much we want to say we are a team that can find ways to score, everything still runs through Connor McDavid. You look back to that 17 playoff series against the Sharks, when Connor McDavid is throwing the body, being authoritative on the ice, and absolutely dictating how his team is going to go forward and attack, guess what? The team is a completely different monster on the ice. And that's kind of what we saw for that little brief moment on those 2 power plays where Connor McDavid had the killer instinct, and then the rest of the team kind of responds in a different aspect, and you end up sinking yourselves. But you know what? The problem is, right? Connor McDavid scores 2 goals, but he didn't score that 3rd one, right? He didn't score the hat trick. Connor McDavid scores the hat trick, we're not having this discussion right now. That's as simple as it is. The Oilers and Kings are tied in goals in this series. The difference right now is the Oilers are absolutely punishing the Kings for good stretches of each of the first 3 games. Jonas Korpisalo has been there when he's needed to be, and the Oilers have just taken out 1 or 2. I'm not even going to say too many penalties. It's literally 1 or 2 penalties that weren't necessary, and that's what has cost them to this point. Fair assessment? Some people might say still the refs are being biased, but I would say you clean up even 1 or 2 penalties in this playoffs. I don't care if the Oilers got scored on that penalty or not. You clean that up. You give the Oilers 2 more minutes at 5-on-5, 4 more minutes at 5-on-5 in this series, and guess what? You probably have a different outcome than a 2-1 lead for the Kings. It probably is 2-1 for the Edmonton Oilers at this point. So now you've got the team sinking Connor McDavid's brilliance in Game 3, and of course Connor McDavid losing on a blown call is, I think, a fair assessment based on what we've heard out of Oilers players, NHL players, everybody across the NHL today. So let's look at it logically. How does Connor McDavid respond? We have a pretty good history on this, and when it comes to Connor McDavid, I think the only thing to expect is score sheet violence from him, right? That's what you would expect from Connor McDavid, is he is going to go out there and absolutely fill the score sheet. Problem is, playoffs are a different animal, and what I want to see Connor McDavid respond with in game number 4 is I want to see him run guys over. I want to see him drawing penalties. I want to see him going out there and just playing in that next level supernova kind of game, whether it results in 5 points in the score sheet or it just results in a win. I want to see Connor McDavid go out there, as he has in many playoff games before, and dictate this series right here in Game 4 on Sunday night. Friends, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. It's all a mystery still, and that's the best part. We'll have the live stream scheduled here by the end of the night for you to go check out and get your notifications set for Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. here on Dolynny TV as we run it back, aiming for, now I can logically and realistically say this, aiming for the best ever live stream on Dolynny TV for a single live stream event. Friends, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I am up on out of here.